Just me and me going up on a run. Competition, I don't need none. Just 1v1, v1, v1. It's all on, all year, all night. It's all on to the sun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sport the Winning podcast. This is review number 844 with the review of The Dink. I'm Christopher Schnese.
And I'm Stephen Miller.
And if you're joining us for the first time, the Sport the Winning podcast is a weekly film review program. Each week in the show, we're going to dive into, debate, discuss, and argue over the latest films coming to a theater near you, or sometimes coming to a streaming platform near you, like this time when we are talking about The Dink, which is now streaming on Apple TV. This is a film about pickleball. So to start us off, Stephen Miller, have you ever partaken in the little sport known as pickleball?
I have not. I know it exists mainly as A, the butt of jokes, and then B, maybe unironically, the hot new sport that people want to invest in because they're, hoping that it's going to become really big. But otherwise, no. Like, I've played tennis a good number of times in my life, but I have never partaken in the pickle. How about you? Have you pickled? You've been soaking in vinegar?
I enjoy a pickle, all kinds of pickles, but I have not played pickleball myself. Never even tempted. Maybe this movie made me tempted, maybe. I didn't get bit during COVID like everybody else to try out pickleball. I couldn't tell you where the nearest pickleball courts are. Like you, it was one of those things where, like, once everybody started talking about how it was getting all popular and crazy, I knew it as the thing people were joking about, but it was like everybody was joking about it, but they were secretly playing it because everybody was super, super into it. I've never actually seen it played in person. I haven't even really seen it outside of this movie. I haven't even seen it portrayed until this film.
What I'm curious about, and maybe we can get into it when we're reviewing the movie, is like, what is it about it that makes people like it more than tennis or find it like a lower barrier to entry? Is it something about the mechanism of hitting it that, like, it's easier to bounce it and that force has less correlation with how far it goes?
I have to assume that it's kind of like in ping pong. In ping pong, you can pick it up. You have less distance to run when you're playing, and you can kind of just practice your volleys and going back and forth, right? And I think that, like, when you sit at a table and there's not some dick on the other end going like, "Oh, I could beat everybody in my college."
That was one time, Chris.
I wasn't going to call you out, Stephen. When you're sitting there and you're actually just like hitting the ball back and forth, you're like, "Oh yeah, this is kind of fun. I could do this for like a few hours," right? Like, there's something inherently there where you're like, "Oh yeah, I could see myself as a guy just playing this." And I feel like, from what I get from this film, I could see how pickleball could be like one of those things where, like, hey, I got to work out. It was kind of fun.
But pragmatically, it's a smaller court size is the reason that it feels that way.
I think the pick-upableness of pickleball is probably the attraction. That isn't like the skill floor.
Right.
Is low enough that, like, you can like get in and be like, oh, yeah, that wasn't too bad, as opposed to like tennis.
I guess like serves are easier to do. The box of what you have to hit is wider.
Yeah. Like having to do overhand serves in tennis and be like, again, it was in the net, or again, it was over the line. Right. You could just be like, screw this sport, right? But when you're playing pickleball, you're like, oh yeah, I was doing it. I was pickling or whatever. It becomes a thing where you're like, yeah, I could do this.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked fun. Like, I used to love playing tennis just for fun when I was like at Berkeley. My friend and I would just go to the court by our apartment and play. This made me kind of want to pick up a sport like that again. Could be pickleball. Just anything that gets you moving and grooving with, the octogenarians, septuagenarians. I don't think there are any octogenarians in this movie.
One of the genarians. But I will say this, Stephen. Pickleball looks like a sport that you could play with a pint of beer in one hand and the racket in the other hand.
Yeah, love a good pickleback.
Tennis, not a sport you could do that with. At least not well.
Yeah.
All right. Ready to do this, Stephen?
I'm ready.
All right, let's take a listen to the trailer for The Dink and then come back and give everybody a review.
Tennis. Elegance. Aesthetic perfection. She needs our protection. An epidemic is sweeping across our once great nation, and its name is...
Pickleball, bitch! Yeah.
Here's your pickleball. In the garbage. This is a tennis club, lady.
Get your pickleball ass out of here.
My name is Dusty Boyd,
You're crushing these old people, Dusty.
but most people know me as the Hammer.
How come you work for your dad teaching 9-year-olds?
He's the guy that almost beat Andy Roddick.
Walk it off.
Come on.
Maybe you could, I don't know, hook me up with something for the pain.
Take it easy with this, okay?
Come on.
You wrote a prescription for pickleball?
You didn't actually bring it to the pharmacy, did you?
Oh, of course not. I'm not an idiot.
I know pickleball is sort of dorky, but it's the fastest road back to tennis for you.
Come on in here. Let's bang one out. You know we serve underhand.
What's that?
Underhand.
Oh, I know, obviously.
Bang! Just take the temperature down. Don't have to hit it that hard.
Dink! Come on! You want a rematch? Yes, I'd like that opportunity.
You could be a great pickleballer. That was fun.
This is about a lot more than just pickleball. It's about the decline of humanity itself.
What can we even do?
We can duel.
Like with guns?
Sadly, no. We settle it on the court.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
I'm okay.
Oh, I get it now. It's like tennis, but easy.
You getting ready to lose.
Yeah, you little slut.
I can't believe that this is happening.
All of Roddick's professional achievements are all actually Dusty's.
I'm struggling to connect those dots.
Maybe you need to go to dot connecting lessons.
Nice burn.
All right, so that was the trailer for The Dink. Reading the description from IMDb, a washed-up tennis pro tries to save a club by reluctantly playing pickleball to earn his father's respect. Stephen Miller, what did you think of The Dink?
First of all, I think that description is wildly misleading as to the actual plot mechanics of the movie, but this isn't the only time I've heard it phrased somewhat like that.
Yeah, I was reading it and I was like, I'm just going to read it verbatim,
Yeah.
but because I wasn't going to try to correct it from what that says.
Yeah. I feel similar to this movie the way I felt about Gail Daughtry a few weeks ago, which is I think this was a totally fine comedy. Made me laugh. Glad I watched it. Is not doing anything outrageous, but it does feel like one of those, man, we used to have a lot of movies like this, and I haven't seen many in recent years. I guess what I would say about this movie, and I'm biased because the person who wrote it, Sean Clements, is a podcaster I've been following for like 15 years. So his sense of humor is something I just find very funny and recognizable. So to me, this movie is at its best when it is just dialogue as an aside, and the underdog sports movie aspect of it is just like the framing device to allow funny characters to interact with each other.
Yeah.
There were plenty of moments in this movie when I laughed out loud at just like a random non sequitur. There's a whole bit about objectsexuals that happen in this movie. There are sassy old people who have different taunts that they make at each other. There's a long detour into The Graduate. There's some funny bits with Ben Stiller as a pervy doctor. Like, there's lots of stuff here where I got good chuckles and was happy to have it all packaged in movie form. What I find strange about the script, and what puts a ceiling in terms of how much I can like actually praise it as a movie on a movie review podcast, is it doesn't seem interested enough in its premise to tell me enough about it to make me care about the outcome. What I mean by what I mean by that is, if I can frame the idea of this movie as like an underdog sports film, it is that Jake Johnson begins as a tennis pro who is very aggro and had a powerful serve, and he is pushing so hard all the time to prove himself. And he is forced to play a sport, pickleball, where pushing yourself that way is not the key to success. Like, we specifically watch him fail against a bunch of old ladies the first time he plays, where he's like hitting really hard and trying to serve and just like abysmal compared to them. I feel like the movie never told me enough about pickleball to know why that would be true. Like, just on a conceptual level, because it sure seems like if you're good at tennis, you would crush everyone at pickleball. As later in the movie, it seems more than happy to, point out again. But also the movie just kind of structurally like brings up pickleball, and then I would say mostly goes on a detour where it's like, okay, what we actually care about is this character and his relationship with other characters, especially Mary Steenburgen in the movie and his dad, played by Ed Harris. And in general, I'm totally happy with that, because I enjoyed all of their interactions just fine. I had plenty of fun with the movie. But there was something where when at the end it remembered it was a sports movie again, I was like, I kind of feel like you haven't gone through enough of the sports movie arc to make me be feeling this in a legit sense, But if I see it as more like sports is an excuse and it really just wants to have characters goof on each other, I had a good time. I had a totally fine little chuckle to myself. Moved pretty quickly. You texted me before watching it, like, how are they going to drag this premise out for an hour, 40 minutes? I think they had no problem dragging it out. At least for me, it zipped by and I had a good time. How did you feel about the Dink?
Yeah. And for the record, I text you literally when I was staring at the screen to hit play, just because I saw the runtime and I knew the basic premise of the film. And I was like, oh, they're going to... This is because I was about to watch a comedy about pickleball, and I was like, oh, Jesus, this is like an hour and 42-minute film that is like ostensibly a joke about the fact that pickleball is a thing. And I was like, how are they going to do this? And to the film's credit, like, they do it well. This film is an entire arc. This is like a whole story. You comparing it to Gail Daughtry, I think this film crushes Gail Daughtry, like full serve. I don't know, like dinks the shit out of Gail Daughtry. Whatever you want to, or as this film would say, creams its ass.
Yeah,
there's no other way to say that.
As Sean Clements likes to say on Hollywood Handbook, it kicks its Happy Meal ass up and down Main Street.
Okay, but yeah, so I think that this film, like, Gail Daughtry was a film that, like, it knew it was silly and it was overacting the whole time and it was trying to be silly. It was kind of calling it was 8-miling itself at how silly it was. This film plays it deadpan as though the characters are not aware of how ridiculous the situation is. Like, everybody is deadly serious. The situations are funny. Characters are making jokes, but they live in a universe they believe is real, right? Like, that is the type of film that we're watching. And for us, the film is funny. At least to me, the film was funny. Yeah. Like, I was laughing at a bunch of different random stuff. Like, there, like, even bits as silly as just the, like, him pulling up in his beat up car and just like throwing the keys at the valet guy and him never trying to catch them ever. Like, that. They do that like 50, what feels like 50 times, and it was never not funny to me. It just got more funny every single time. But like, for me, this is, yes, it doesn't get all the way into the, like, me caring about the sport of pickleball, but the title teaches me everything I need to know about what I need to know about pickleball. This is, from the sports aspect, this is a formulaic film, right? We're following these certain beats. The film is telegraphing itself all the way from the beginning. We know exactly how everything is going to play out. You're just trying to figure out how they're going to go from a tennis match to a pickleball match. And then you're like, okay, that makes sense. Cool. Got it. I know exactly how it's going to play out now. But you know where it's going to go. But it's clear that this is going to be a character piece, right? It's all about this guy and the lessons he's going to learn. The lesson isn't how to play pickleball. The lesson is everything surrounding the how to play pickleball. And for me, the characters are just so, like, I don't want to say, like, authentic maybe isn't the right word, because they're very, very heightened, but like, they are, you care about these characters instantly. Well, not all of them, but most of them.
Certainly the main two, at least, which are the people you're supposed to care about.
Yeah, the people you're supposed to care about. Like, there is something endearing about these characters that really make you just want to root for them, even though they're not all, at least, Jake Johnson's character is not the most lovable guy at all times, but he's sympathetic, right? And you're watching this film and you're like, you're rooting for him to learn to just be somebody who can like give up being the hammer and just be a normal dude who can like learn to have friends and stuff like that. So I think for me, this was a film that is elevated from a Gail Daughtry location, is still playing in the formulaic space, is not like sending up the sports film, but is one of those things where it's like, yeah, like this was a joyful film. I really enjoyed my time with it. And the thing is too, is like you said that it's not doing enough with the sports thing to make me care about what's going to happen with the pickleball at the end, but it is even playing with the idea of like, when it comes down to it at the end, it's not what he learned about pickleball. There's like one thing that he learns about pickleball that's helpful. Everything else is what he knows about the space that he's playing in, right? Like they're playing with the idea of like, nothing I've learned about the sport is going to help me. I'm going to have to use all these other things to do it. So it's like, I don't know. They're playing with the idea of the fact that they're not doing the thing that you think they should. You know what I mean? But not like in it's not that they're trying to be too clever. It's just that they're like, we're not even bothering to do that. We're just doing this other thing because that's kind of funnier to us. So yeah. So I thought it was very fun. It was very cute. I enjoyed pretty much every second of it. Even at the beginning, the level of seriousness they take the pitch at how the encroaching level of what pickleball is doing to the tennis community. Like the silly presentation that you get at the beginning, it's like so serious and so deadpan. I'm just like, okay, I know what movie we're sitting down to watch, and I just really enjoyed it the whole time.
No, I mean, I agree. Like, you know, I led with the fact that I don't think it cares that much about the sport that it is about, but that didn't really detract from my enjoyment in any way, because I was having fun the whole time watching this movie. You know, it definitely is formulaic, and there are times that I felt the formula a lot. I don't even know if I mind them. It kind of felt like watching an old episode of Scrubs or something, where I was like, okay, some of this is cheesy, right? Like you got like the sassy older ladies who are taunting you because you're bad at pickleball, and they all get to like go through like a version of their joke, and it almost felt like a little too cute, but I was smiling, like enjoying how cute it was. Yeah. You know, there's something like throwback about the earnestness of it that worked for me, even when it was maybe being extra on the, not just formulaic in terms of the plot, but formulaic in terms of the types of jokes it wanted to make and the types of wacky characters that we were being introduced to. But overall, like, even when it's being formulaic, I laughed at the heights it took the formula, which is maybe why I'm comparing it positively to Gail Daughtry, which I think I liked a bit more than you in the end. Like there's an example where there is an ex-husband character who has a new hot young girlfriend, and part of the joke is his hot young girlfriend is 50, right? But that's young relative to the rest of them. But then she was like, she's talking to Mary Steenburgen, and is it Bergen or Bergen? I never remember how to pronounce her name. Mary S. Anyway, she's talking to Mary, and she's like, talk to me, I can help. I was an ER nurse after I retired from modeling. And, you know, like, they're just little things that heighten everything in a way that it always took it just the extra mile in a way that made me chuckle. You know, even set pieces or like premises of jokes that didn't work on me originally eventually paid off. Like, I'll give an example, which is, there is a scene where they're sitting and watching The Graduate together, and they're leaning extra hard into Jake Johnson not knowing anything about The Graduate and asking all these questions and saying, oh, this should be a classic, that guy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, you're being pretty corny right now. You know, I get it. Mild smile. Later, it like brings The Graduate back in a way that I was like, oh, that is why you spent all that time. And it brings it back with a punchline that like I laughed out loud at because I had been sitting with it the whole time and not connecting the dots. Just in general, I think it's for a movie that is trying to be easy and a little dumb, it is like smart about it, you know? Like it always had a little bit extra up its sleeve that I don't know. Just made me chuckle. And I like seeing Mary Steenburgen get to be funny on her end too. Like there's a retort that made me laugh that, I mean, it feels very written, but it got me, which is Jake Johnson is at her house and is looking at a photo of her on her wedding day, which is a very classic conversation in like a rom-com type movie for someone to have. And he's like, oh my gosh, is that you in your wedding dress? And she immediately replies like, no, I saved a photo of a different similar looking woman on her wedding day. And like I rewound it twice because I like wanted to hear her deliver that line again. Because there's like not even a second pause between him asking that and her delivering the retort.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fun, cute movie. I was glad I watched it. I was going to watch it no matter what, just to support the writer, but I wound up being pleasantly surprised that I like actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. This is one of those films that like, at least for me, it was zero fanfare about this thing coming out, and then it was just like, now I turn on, because it's Apple, so I turned it on and it's just like it starts autoplaying the trailer when the Apple TV boots up, and it was like I have no idea what this thing is. And then you were like, hey, I'm gonna watch this weekend either way. I'm like, all right, why don't we just do this for the review? And then it worked out because I really enjoyed it. So
yep. Yeah, see, sometimes these wild cards happen. Like sometimes when one door closes, another even more flexible door opens.
That's very true, Stephen.
Cool.
All right, should we get to verdicts?
Yep.
All right, Stephen Miller, if you were going to give us a must-see, recommend with a caveat, wait for rental, pass with a caveat, or a must-avoid, what would you give it?
I'm giving it a recommend with a caveat, which I guess is a higher rating than I gave Gail Daughtry. I think I gave a very positive wait for rental or something. I guess what I'm saying is the reason I can round this up, even though I think I liked both of them equally, is with the Dink, I think you know exactly what you're getting. And if you press play on this, you are probably going to be happy with the result, right? Like this is a movie that delivers on the exact genre. It is without making you bend in pretzels over how meta it is and why it's actually funny that it's not funny and blah, blah, blah. So I think this is an easy movie to like. There is a low ceiling for me because it is not like trying to do anything particularly big. I don't think it is trying to be the most amazing movie of all time. It's a formula. It nestles well in that formula with likable actors involved. And yeah, I had a good time with it.
Yeah, it's a recommend with a caveat for me as well. It is kind of ironic though, because Gail Daughtry we saw in theaters. We said was wait for rental, but if you watched it at home, you probably wouldn't be able to get the experience of at least laughing with other people. So it would probably hurt that film. This film was at home streaming, and we're saying you should watch it. So yeah, I don't know. We should just magically flip those two films, and you can go out and see the one in theater. But we don't have magic powers. We can't do that, unfortunately. So you should just go watch this at home then.
Yep.
But yeah, that is going to do it for our quick review of the Dink. Us just, tapping it over the net for you real fast. Yeah, that is going to do it for this week. Stephen Miller, if people want to find you through the week, where can they do that?
People can find me at Blue Sky at sdavidmiller or sdavidmiller.com.
People can find me at ChristopherInRealLife.com or ChristopherIRL on a number of social platforms. You can find the podcast over at thespoilerwarning.com where you can get a bunch of the back episodes of the show. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can do so on Overcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever podcasts are found. If you want to know when the episodes go live, you can follow us at twitter.com/spoilerwarning, facebook.com/thespoilerwarning, or instagram.com/thespoilerwarning. If you want to get a hold of us directly, you can send an email to fans@thespoilerwarning.com, or you can use the contact form on our site. Music for this episode will come from a track selected from artlist.io, so hopefully you're enjoying that. That is it for this week. We are taking off, but we will be back next week for a brand new day. Talk to you later. Bye.
On to the sunlight, opposition, I don't see none, just 1v1v1v1v1.